of course, it's time for the business segment here on Joy News Prime. With me, Beverly Broohm. We take a look at our stories now and stabilizing the global economy, banking system, and rising debt of developing countries. These are the issues set to dominate the annual World Bank IMF Spring Meeting, which is set to officially open in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Speaking ahead of that meeting, Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, said about 15% of low-income countries are already in debt distress, and another 45% face high debt vulnerabilities. Let's listen to her.
I want to make a double plea on their behalf. Help them handle the burden of debt, which has made life in this country so much harder because of multiple shocks in the last years. And secondly, help ensure that the IMF continues to be in a position to support them in the years ahead. Let me start with debt. About 15% of low-income countries are in debt distress, an additional 45% are near it. About a quarter of emerging market economies are at high risk, facing default-like borrowing costs. And this has raised a legitimate concern about the potential wave of debt restructuring cases.
Meanwhile, senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast Business School, Sairam Kawa, is calling on Ghana's economic management team to show more commitment in securing a deal from the International Monetary Fund.
Ghana needs to go back to the IMF and get a member of the IMF board that are from some of these countries to talk to the power brokers to ensure that we get this deal successfully. We don't just have to sit back and tell ourselves that, oh, they have pleaded with them, so they are going to accept what they have said. That might not be the situation. We need to be more strategic in whatever we do. And so going back to ask the board members, and in fact, by this time, we should have even contacted every board member of the IMF, telling them our plans and getting their views and incorporating it into whatever that we are doing. The backroom maneuvers, the backroom negotiations and strategies are very keen, and we shouldn't leave any stone unturned when we want to get this particular deal, which is very critical to the development of our country, Ghana. From where I'm sitting and what we have seen, that all the conditions that have been set out in terms of the domestic revenue mobilization, when Parliament has passed the bill, there is a lot of kickbacks on this particular issue where industry is not buying into it. The consultative meeting that needs to be heard is not done. And so for now, we don't know whether the president has assented his signature to it, making it into law, because that will be required as evidence. Then we also have to convince the G20 countries, that's the Paris Club, to give us some firm assurance that they are ready to help us out. Then we have to go back to China and get a deal from China as well, so that we can present all these things to the board.
Now, President of the Ghana Hotels Association, Dr. Edward Akanyamike Jr., has entreated the Ghana Tourism and Promotions Authority to replicate the Easter Nkwewu celebrations in all parts of the country. He believes the move will help promote domestic tourism as well as raking more revenue for the economy. Here's more.
The story is far, far better than about 2 years ago. Also, when COVID struck, by God's grace, the business environment with regards to patronage has improved, and it's seen in our feedback, the feedback we get from our members. And this year's Easter in Nkwewu, for instance, we have received feedback that business has been quite good. The Easter in Nkwewu model is one excellent model for domestic tourism. And if we replicate that in all parts of Ghana, it will really help us a lot. And I believe that that's what is going on. Because basically, the whole tourism concept is about identifying a destination, creating that attraction, and making sure that there's access and there's amenities, the security issues, safety issues. Once those things are provided for, you get people flowing to the place, and so you create that need. I mean, Easter in Kwowu has become more like an annual ritual, if I should put it that way, where people look forward to it. Okay, so if you could create the same thing, similar things across the country. Now the masquerade carnival in the Western region, Saturday, is becoming another one which people look at.
And that's all for business tonight. For more business news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. I am Beverly Broohm.